tonight. Voices crackle in the light.
Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive with us.
It's good to be back.
Today, we're looking at something that really got me thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Some excerpts from this article called Why Women Make the Greatest Warriors in the World.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's
That's a bold statement.
It's a bold statement, and I gotta say,
Yeah.
it really made me question some things. Like, right off the bat, it claims that women may actually have, like, a higher pain tolerance than men.
Right.
I know. I was like, what? That's pretty wild.
So are we talking just like physical pain or?
Well, they get into that.
Okay.
But just that initial idea kind of makes you wonder.
It does.
Like, have we been underestimating
Are we missing something?
women's capabilities this whole time?
For sure.
Exactly. And it makes you think about that, like, classic warrior stereotype.
Right. The big, strong, muscle-bound dude.
Totally. Like, that's the image that comes to mind.
Absolutely.
But this article is saying
There's more to it.
that's just scratching the surface.
Yeah, that's just one very narrow view.
And, history is full of powerful.
It's full of them.
Women warriors.
Yeah, think about someone like Kutalun.
Who's that?
She was a Mongolian noblewoman back in the 13th century.
Okay.
A total badass.
Okay. I'm listening.
She was this amazing wrestler, like undefeated.
Oh, wow.
She would beat men in competitions.
Wow.
And then on top of that, she was commanding armies.
Really?
But you ask the average person on the street,
Yeah.
have you heard of...
Do you know this woman? Kutalum. Probably not.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. And it's like, we've heard of Joan of Arc Boudica.
Mm-hmm.
Those names ring a bell. But
are the exceptions.
there are so many others
What?
that we just don't know about.
Right. And the article asks, why is that?
Yeah. Why do
What's
we
that overlooked?
overlooking these examples?
And they point to this thing they call wrong brain thinking.
Wrong brain.
Yeah.
It's a pretty blunt term.
It is a little in your face,
Yeah.
but it gets the point across.
Okay, so what do they mean by
So wrong brain.
wrong brain thinking?
It's basically about this tendency to view women primarily through this lens of attraction.
Okay.
Physically.
So just seeing them as
or not even objects, but just like,
okay.
not taking them seriously as strategic thinkers, as leaders.
And the article is saying this isn't just like some harmless oversight.
It has real consequences.
That it actually
It holds women back.
impacts how things play out.
And it holds us all back, really.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Think about like World War II.
Okay.
Women were crucial in intelligence gathering,
Really?
working undercover. They could blend in, build relationships.
Yeah.
They were really good at it.
Yeah. Makes sense. But their contributions
They weren't always recognized.
weren't valued in the same way.
Yeah, they were kind of overshadowed by the men.
It's like we're missing half the story.
It really makes you wonder how many breakthroughs we've missed,
Yeah.
just because we weren't looking in the right places.
Right. Or we weren't valuing all perspectives equally.
Exactly.
That's huge.
It is.
And it brings us back to this idea
Yeah.
of what a warrior really is.
Have we gotten it wrong this whole time?
Right. Maybe our definition has been way too limited.
I think so.
And then there's this whole thing about women and pain tolerance.
Right, like we were saying before.
Yeah, the article suggests.
Could it be that they're actually better equipped to deal with not just physical pain,
Okay.
but also the emotional toll of combat?
Wow.
Think about it. Pain's not just a physical thing.
Right. It's in your head, too.
It's a whole mix of stuff going on in your body and your mind. And the article argues that women, because of biology and also because of how they're raised,
right.
might be better at managing all those different
Like all those different aspects.
parts of pain.
So it's not just about like
No, it's not just gritting your teeth.
toughing it out.
It's deeper than that.
Yeah. It's about
It's emotional resilience.
being able to process
Yeah, to deal with trauma and loss
and keep going.
and keep fighting. Keep going.
It makes you think about those nurses
Yeah.
on the front lines
Right in the thick of it.
seeing the worst of the worst.
Yeah, unimaginable suffering.
But they kept going.
They did. They kept going.
And they were there to provide care.
Comfort in the chaos.
And that takes
Makes it-
some serious emotional resilience.
It really does.
It really makes you reconsider what it means
It does.
to be a warrior.
Strength, resilience.
And this article is saying we need to
we need to redefine those things.
rethink our understanding.
Absolutely. And recognize what women bring to the table.
Their unique strength.
That's right.
It's a really compelling argument.
It is. It is. I'm interested to see where they take it next.
Me too.
It really is fascinating.
Mm.
You know, we always think of warriors as these physically strong people.
Right.
But maybe that's not the whole picture.
Yeah, this article is saying there's more to it than just brute force.
Exactly.
It's about strategy and smarts.
It's about the long game.
And the article suggests that women might actually have an advantage when it comes to that kind of thinking.
You know, long-term planning thinking, several steps ahead.
Right, like playing chess.
That's a good analogy.
You got to be able to see the whole board.
And anticipate your opponent's moves.
And this article argues that women might be especially good at that kind of strategic thinking.
Yeah, they're often dealing with complex social situations, you know, navigating relationships.
Yeah.
So they've kind of had to develop those strategic skills.
And it's like they've been training for it their whole lives.
In a way, yeah.
It makes you think about all the areas of life where strategy is important.
It's not just about war.
No, not at all. Like negotiating a raise or starting a business.
Even just managing family dynamics.
It's all about strategy.
And the article is saying that those skills are often undervalued.
Especially when we're talking about women. But this article is saying we need to recognize and cultivate those skills.
Absolutely.
Because they're crucial for success no matter who you are.
It's not about gender.
It's about having the right tools for the job.
And strategy is definitely one of those tools.
Okay, so we've got strategic thinking.
Yeah.
But this article goes even further.
They do.
And they bring up this idea of emotional intelligence.
Yes, emotional intelligence.
As another key weapon in a woman's arsenal.
That ability to understand and manage emotions.
Both your own and other people's.
Right. It's more than just empathy.
It's about using that emotional awareness to build relationships.
To motivate people.
To navigate difficult situations.
Exactly.
It's like having a superpower.
It is kind of like a superpower.
Or imagine being able to read a room.
Yeah. To know what people are feeling, even if they're not saying it.
And then use that knowledge to your advantage.
To get people on your side.
To influence the outcome.
That's emotional intelligence in action.
It's powerful stuff.
It really is.
Think about someone like Golda Meir.
Oh, yeah. The former Prime Minister of Israel.
She faced some incredibly tough challenges.
She did.
But she was known for her ability to connect with people.
To build consensus.
To lead with both strength and empathy.
A perfect example of emotional intelligence.
And the article suggests that this emotional intelligence might come from the roles that women often play in society.
Yeah, traditionally they've been the caregivers, the nurturers.
The ones who build and maintain social connections.
Right, all of which require a high degree of emotional intelligence.
So it's not just about innate differences between men and women.
It's about the experiences that shape us.
The skills we develop over time.
And this article is saying that those skills, those so-called soft skills, are actually incredibly valuable.
Especially in leadership roles.
Especially when the pressure's on.
So maybe we need to rethink what we consider to be valuable leadership qualities.
Maybe those soft skills are the key.
And the article brings up that idea again about how men need to change their thinking.
Yeah, they need to stop viewing women through the lens of the wrong brain.
That limited perspective.
Where they only see women as objects or as less capable.
The article is saying that's not only harmful to women,
but it holds us all back.
It limits our potential as a society.
Imagine if we could fully embrace the contributions of everyone.
Regardless of gender.
What could we achieve?
It's mind-blowing to think about.
It is.
And that brings us back to the article's central message.
Which is?
That women have always been warriors.
They have.
Contributing their strength, their resilience.
Their strategic brilliance.
Throughout history. And it makes you think about, like, all the ways women have been warriors throughout history.
Right, not just the ones we read about in history books.
Yeah, it's like the strength, this resilience. It's woven into the fabric of women's lives.
Absolutely.
You think about the women who survived wars, famines,
displacement, hardship.
Raising families in poverty.
Facing discrimination.
Fighting for their rights.
It's a different kind of battlefield.
But it's a battlefield nonetheless.
It is.
And it takes a warrior spirit to overcome those challenges.
That strength to persevere.
To protect the people you love.
To keep going no matter what.
It's like the definition of a warrior expands when you start to look beyond the traditional battlefields.
It's about everyday courage.
Yeah, that quiet strength.
The kind of strength you don't always see.
It's there.
It's always there.
The article mentions Harriet Tubman.
Oh, yeah. She's a perfect example.
Risking her life over and over again.
Not on a battlefield.
But in the shadows.
Guiding people to freedom.
That takes so much bravery.
And strategic thinking.
An unwavering commitment to justice.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't just her.
No, there were so many others.
Women like Nancy Wake,
The White Mouse?
Working with the French resistance?
Organizing sabotage missions?
Helping Allied airmen escape?
These women, they weren't on the front lines.
But their courage was just as important.
It's just as impactful.
So we've talked about all these amazing qualities, the pain tolerance, the strategic thinking, the emotional intelligence.
And all the ways women have been warriors throughout history.
But what does it all mean for us today?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Like, what can we take away from all this?
I think it comes down to recognizing the strength of women.
And broadening our understanding of what strength really means.
Exactly.
Moving beyond those old stereotypes.
And appreciating the diverse ways that strength manifests.
Celebrating the contributions of women throughout history.
And supporting the women who are breaking barriers today.
It's about creating a world where everyone,
regardless of gender,
can reach their full potential.
I like that.
We've only just scratched the surface of this topic.
We have.
But I hope this deep dive has inspired you to think differently.
To challenge your own assumptions.
And to appreciate the incredible contributions of women.
To our world.
Past, present, and future.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
And keep diving deep.